Hello, how you doing? Welcome back to F1 23 and another part of the Immersive Driver Career Mode with our brand new team, Aston Martin, and we are going to be starting Season 2 today of this series. I just want to say thank you for sticking by me, being patient the last couple of weeks as I've been really pushing F1 Manager 2023 on the channel. That has done insane. We've hit 25,000 subscribers, and if you have come over from the F1 Manager content, hello, hopefully you're okay, and hopefully you enjoy this Immersive Driver Career as well. And I just want to re-explain what that is for people jumping on board for Season 2. So, the word immersive here, it's sort of a loose term, if you like. It's mainly down to the fact that we don't have any control over R&D. We throw that over to the team. We make sure that we don't get involved in any sort of facility upgrades because it's a driver career mode. We wouldn't be involved in those sort of decisions, really, especially not early in our career. So that's what we're going for with the immersion. We obviously have no flashbacks on, and we have strict corner cutting. All of those sort of rules are in there, and that's how it's an immersive driver career. It's not because we're doing it in visor cam and no assists and all of that. That's not what that is. That would be, to me, ultra realism career mode. And we're not going for that. We're going for the immersive driver career mode. So we are the driver, if you like. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, we started our Aston Martin career early in the season finale episode last time out. It was a pretty horrific race, and we didn't finish in the end. But yeah, that was all down to a glitch. But looking forward to Season 2 and seeing how we get on. We're obviously going to be picking our calendar and all of that good stuff today. So I can't wait to get into it. So let's get ourselves immersed into the action and see how we get on. But yeah, if you are a viewer of this series and not the F1 Manager stuff, make sure you go and check that out. It's been a really good time with the Williams road to glory so far. Fernando Alonso is now officially retired, which is all good, but you can see in terms of R&D, I don't have any control over any of this, so the team just deal with that. And Aston Martin are actually equal best team with Red Bull, so I think it could be a potentially exciting season of challenging for the title. But let's get ourselves moving forward. We'll finish the season as is, and we'll see what goes on here. So we move up to level 11 acclaim after a 7th placed finish in the championship. Obviously just one race with Nico Hülkenberg, so not much can be said of that. And let's move forward. Let's see how Season 2 develops. I have no idea what's going to happen here. We are going to go for the 10 races, but now we can bring in France, we can bring in China. Can we? Oh, we can bring in Portugal as well later on in the season. Wow, that's a bit of an odd place to have it, but we are going to go for 10 races. We're going to try and keep it nice and exciting, and I'll go through and I'll pick which tracks I want, and yeah, it'll be good to see. I have no idea which 10 I'm going to pick, so let's pick them together now. Obviously, we've got to pick Canada. That's my favourite track of all. Austria's an awesome track. Silverstone's an awesome track. France is one of my favourites, to be fair, but we've got to have Belgium in there. We've got to have Monza in there. So that's 5 already. Loved Qatar, loved Brazil, and I loved Las Vegas, to be honest. So we've got 2 more picks that we can throw in there. Do we go for France or return to France? I am very quick round France. That's certainly an option. But the season wouldn't be starting on Canada. That's pretty crazy. Saudi Arabia was, of course, awesome as well. I don't really want to bring China back. Miami was pretty good. Monaco was... I enjoyed Monaco this year. And Spain, of course, without the final corner. You know what? I'm going to put Spain in there. And now it's whether I go France or Portugal. And I might go Portugal, actually. I think that's a very nice nice selection of tracks. So we start off the season in Spain, head to Canada, then Austria, then Great Britain is the 4th round. Belgium is number 5, then Monza 6, before Qatar 7, Brazil 8, Portugal 9, and rounding out the season in Las Vegas. Now, it's a very different calendar. I know that lots of people will be disappointed it's only 10 races, but realistically, you know, there's 23 races is a long time. I want to keep it short. Let's keep it exciting in terms of the championship, hopefully, and get ourselves into Season 2.
You can go back and edit anything we've done so far, and we'll come back here at the start of each season. Or if you're ready to go, hit Advance to head to Team HQ, and we can start our push to the top of Formula 1.
Yeah, very happy with everything here, to be honest with you. Might go with the more luminous yellow design for this season. I think that'll go quite nicely with the Aston Martin car. All of that looks good. Yeah, let's go thank you to the team. Right, let's go on then into Season 2. And there you go. I mean, we've got, of course, a lot of upgrading to do. There's a lot of time between now and the start of the season, so let's head forward. We've got the car reveal coming up as well.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
You can see we have got a minor durability upgrade coming in. And just in terms of the teams, I don't think anything else will change. No. You got Sargent and Joe at Williams, De Vries and Albon at Haas, Sonoda still at Alpha Tauri, Magnussen now at Alfa Romeo, Stroll at Alpha Tauri, ourselves and Hulkenberg at Aston Martin, which I think is a really strong lineup, and everything else has stayed the same. Right, let's go and have a look at our new car for the season. And she's a beauty. She is a beauty, that Aston Martin car. And hopefully it'll take us to World Championship glory. Season objectives. Maintain our advantage. Be racing near the front of the field. That's all good to me. Well, let's continue on. We'll maybe go up to the first. We have got Spec 2 facilities now. Pit equipment is all good as well. It doesn't look like we're really throwing much behind the upgrades at the moment, but fingers crossed we will manage to do it.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for the weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
We will have driver stat upgrades. We might as well do that while we're here as well. Let's pick Perez as our rival.
Thanks. I know these kinds of decisions can be challenging, but I think you made the right call.
Well, thanks, Miguel, or whatever his name is. I think it's Andrea, isn't it?
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
I am a bit concerned. Mercedes are developing. We're not really doing a lot at the moment. Season break. There you go. We've got a powertrain upgrade coming. Yeah, still no sign of any upgrades coming just yet. And there you go. We finally put in a minor upgrade on the car. Durability department have an event. R&D believe they're in there. No, I'm going to decline that.
You handled it well. Thanks.
That's fine. We'll, of course, skip that. Yeah, we've got one upgrade in the pipeline, but it looks like it's going to be between Mercedes, Aston Martin and Red Bull for who are going to be the quickest team going into this weekend. Ferrari are looking fast, Alpine are pretty quick as well. Then you go down to Haas and McLaren, and then Alfa Romeo and Williams are fairly close together, with AlphaTauri still very much the slowest team on the grid. But let's head into the first weekend of the season and see if there's any cutscenes, anything like that. I very much doubt it, but we'll see. No, there you go.
Welcome to the new season. I think we've done a pretty good job protecting our development gains through the regs change, so the car should be pretty decent. But get out there and let us know how it feels.
Okay, it is Andrea. I mean, you know, the poshest named Scouser in the world, I think, Andrea there. Right. Okay. It's interesting. Not many people have upgraded the car. I thought in that amount of time we might see it, but who knows? We are going to stick with 35% races for this season, but I'll see you guys regardless for qualifying one, and we'll see how we get on. Welcome along then to Spanish Grand Prix qualifying. We are looking quick in practice. We were 4th quickest in P1, and that was on the medium compound tyres. Mercedes and Red Bull looking equally as quick, and Nico Hülkenberg up there as well. So I think it should be a really exciting qualifying session today. But first things first, let's get through Q1. Here we come round then. The final couple of corners. Little lift off as we go round the final corner up to the line to 1:11.1, which is the quickest time so far. You can see we are very much hitting the limiter. Obviously no ways to mess with gear ratios on this game, but if we were back in 2010, 2011, we'd be whacking a bit more on 8th gear there to just give us a little bit more straight line speed. But that was a very good lap. It wasn't our best lap. It was very much within the lines, within the limits of this car. But a 1:11.1, good start for the weekend. Well, that was more than enough to get through Q1. Lewis Hamilton quickest in Q1 with a 1:10.9. Very, very good from him. Alex Albon, impressive up in P6 for Haas. Did Hülkenberg get through? He did just about in 15th place. Not a very good time, but is through nonetheless, going out in Q1. The two Williams cars of Zhou and Sargent, Nick De Vries, Lance Stroll, and Esteban Ocon in the Alpine. So into Q2 then, we fly around the final corner, and it's a 1:11.1 again.
Okay, we've only got
so
one
a very
lap remaining.
Consistent couple of laps that we've posted in qualifying so far. I think we can certainly get more out of the car, and especially if we're going to be a bit more aggressive with the limits of the car, but that'll do for now. We'll take it. Should be enough to get through to Q3. Well, we squeaked through by the skin of our teeth. A 1:11.1 was enough for 10th place. The track must have ramped up a lot because Hülkenberg out on an 11.6. You know, that would have been probably good enough for the top 10 in Q1. But, wow, we very nearly went out in Q2. Gasly, Piastri, Albon, our teammate Hülkenberg, and Yuki Tsunoda all out in Q2. This is going to be a decent time as we head up to the line to 1:10.8, which is enough for P4 at the moment. But, yeah, 3/10 improvement on what we managed in Q1 and Q2. But we have got plenty of new tyres, so we are going to have a second run at this and give it our absolute all. Try and find the limit of this car. And Kevin Magnussen in our old car of the Alfa Romeo, P7 at the moment for him. He's looking good. We're P6. But plenty of more time to find, you would imagine. Will you join me as we are getting ready for our pole position run? See, we're just behind the main gaggle of cars, and we are going to be last man over the line. I'm going to be trying to take that flat for the final corner. So here we go then. On to our potential pole position lap. We got to give it our absolute everything. We got to find the limit of this car, the true limit. You can see in the top right corner we've made a little bit of time through this first sector, but it is a tiny little bit of time, and it's not going to be enough at this stage. But we are green again. It's about trying to hit every single apex out there. We were a little bit slow onto the power there, probably lost half a tenth at that point, but now we're well over a tenth up, and we try to hold it flat through there, but just dropped off a little bit as we come through this middle sector. It's not been the best possible lap, but we are doing better than previous times, and we fly through this final sector. So far it's very, very clean, and now it's all going to be about the final corner. Can we hold it flat here to try and get pole position? That's pretty good, and we head up to the line. What's it going to be? It's not going to be enough. It's only P5 on the grid. Well, we'll certainly take it, but it could have been better. It certainly could have been better. But as I say, we'll take it. We weren't that far off in the end.
It's time to remind ourselves once
but
again.
Wow, look at the Alfa Romeos.
Hamilton, Russell, and Carlos Sainz. With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. Well,
you've got to look at that, a 110.7 in the end, and we do manage to go ahead of Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, but Valtteri Bottas P4 in the Alfa Romeo. We would have probably put that Alfa on pole. We certainly were doing that last year. Magnussen in P8. Alfa Romeo looking good on the opening day of the season. Leclerc P6, but it's Lewis Hamilton that takes pole position, and for some reason the Red Bulls a long, long way off. Let's see how we get on in tomorrow's race.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. It's an updated track at Catalonia, and we welcome the removal of the chicane in the final sector, shortening lap times and reducing the total running to 2.9 miles and 14 turns. This was actually the original setup for the track, but it hasn't been used since 2007. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Bottas, the captain, Leclerc, Norris, Magnussen, Perez, Verstappen, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Albon, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Ocon, Stroll, De Vries, Joe, and Logan Sargent. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Natalie Pinkham is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
Well, it's clear, very clear conditions, and that makes it clear for the drivers because they don't have to worry and have that added distraction of fickle weather. They can concentrate on the driving and not everything else around them.
Okay, right, here we are down on the track then. We are going to take quite a bit of fuel out of the car. We did save a brand new set of soft tyres. It would seem foolish not to use them, although I am tempted to go for our strategy of starting on medium tyres and taking them a little bit further into the race and going softer later on when the fuel load is not so much of an issue. And hopefully we can, you know, get a good result out of that. It looks like lots of people starting on the hard tyres, to be fair. So we could be making a very...
How was that pull away? You'll have a bit more
quick
grip than
start
that
to
at the
this
start, but we
race.
need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
Oh, looks like most people are on the hard tyres actually. Obviously, tyre wear is usually a bit of an issue here in Spain, but I'm fancying our chances. I think last year, did we have a little incident at some point and had to go on to the hard tyres, but yeah, I can't quite remember. It was quite a long time ago now, when we were in the midst of Season 1 of this career mode, but hopefully you enjoy the return of it, and of course, with the shorter seasons, we should be able to progress through quite nicely now. But P5, a little bit disappointed with that. Obviously, we didn't get our ultimate time, but we were still, you know, about 0.4 of a second behind the Mercedes cars, so I think there's more to come from this car, but for the Alfa Romeo to be in front of us on day one, that's certainly not what we wanted. I think over the race conditions, we should be quicker than Valtteri Bottas, but yeah, I mean, podium is definitely the target. It was the target before the start of the weekend, and yeah, we might not be championship contenders yet, but there are only 10 races this season, so if we are going to mount a title challenge, we need to be getting off to a good, consistent start, and that's what we're going to be looking for today. So here we come then, round the final corner, and we're looking to take our position on the grid. We've, of course, had very, very good starts in this career mode so far, so do not be surprised if we are leading going into turn 1 here. But we're going to be aiming our car to the right-hand side, towards George Russell, really.
Okay, good parking.
That's
there,
who
mate.
we're keeping an eye on, and we are on the medium tyres here, so we should,
keep an eye on the lights. The
in
start
theory,
sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed.
get a quicker start than the guys around us. So here we go then. We are ready for the lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for Season 2 here of F1 23, and we get a little bit on the grass, but as we predicted, we had a much cleaner start than most of the rest of the grid, and we head round the outside and into the lead after turn 1. What a start in this Spanish Grand Prix that was for us, and that is exactly what we needed to happen. Let's have a little look at the start once again. You can see we head round the first corner beautifully. Had to have a look at that again as we head into the lead of this Spanish Grand Prix. Now we've got to use this pace advantage on the medium tyres. We've got to be wary of the fact that those guys are on hard tyres. They are not going to be that fast in this first stint. They're certainly not going to be able to get up to good tyre temperatures on this first lap either, so we have to use the fact that we're on these medium tyres and build a bit of a gap, which is surely going to be reined back in towards the end of the stint. But that is exactly what we needed. A terrific start. And Lewis Hamilton currently in P2. Let's see if we can stay ahead of him. But yeah, really, really delighted with that start to the Grand Prix. We're leading the way at the moment. Already out of the DRS range of the 7-time world champion. So hopefully we can keep that going throughout this first stint. Well, join me on lap 5 of this Grand Prix, and Lewis Hamilton still 1.2 seconds behind us. We did get it up to about 1.5 seconds after 3 laps, so he has been closing in ever so slightly the last couple of laps, but we're still just about over a second ahead of him, and certainly through the middle sector we seem to be quicker than Lewis, but as you can see, he has now got that down to 0.9 seconds, and if he was to get within DRS through this middle sector, that would give him a little boost down this next straight. And he is going to have it this lap, and that's going to start closing him in now. So it really is squeaky bum time of this Grand Prix, of trying to make sure that we are well positioned and getting a good exit out of this final corner, because Lewis Hamilton is going to be right on our tail. You would feel, although we've managed to eke it out again to 1.1 seconds, so he must have struggled in that final sector there, but we are pulling a big gap to Valtteri Bottas in P5. And pretty happy at the moment with how things are going. And let's hope that we can continue to eke out this lead to 5th place Bottas and continue what will be a good battle for the win here with the two Mercedes and Carlos Sainz by the looks of things. Well, this is going to be the moment for Lewis Hamilton to pass us, I think. And there he goes. And, well, as you can see on the right-hand side, we are currently very much under fuel. So I've had to start lifting and coasting a little bit. Be quite nice if we could stay within DRS to Lewis, so that we're just following. But we're certainly not going to be pushing to get back past him at the current moment. Nor do I actually think we've got the pace to. Yeah, that DRS will be a massive help. So just stay with Lewis Hamilton, stay in front of the guys behind. But yeah, we need to lift and coast a little bit. Well, Hamilton's come into the pits. That's early for Lewis Hamilton. It's quite a surprise. Looks like Perez is in the pits as well. And George Russell trying his luck. Doesn't manage to make it round this time. But comes round the outside again. We hold him off for now. There we go, George Russell now in the pit lane.
We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in-lap. Gap to your teammate behind is 0.7 seconds.
And we are coming into the pits this lap, as Nico Hülkenberg has come in as well.
Nico's into the pits. Nico in the pits.
Yeah, you can see we're gaining a little bit of fuel when we're lifting and coasting, but we're going to have to seriously do some more. So we might not be in the running for the victory anymore today, but getting to the end of the Grand Prix is going to be the priority. But we've had fun, there's no doubt about that. Now I've got to be very careful coming into the pit lane here. And we're in. So now, can we beat the Aston Martin, the Ferrari crew here? Yeah, lovely. And we are away ahead of
fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting.
Sainz, and a 2.2 second pit stop there, and there goes Hamilton and Russell. Yeah, I mean, Hamilton's well ahead, 6 seconds he's got on us here. Oh, and that's Perez. So big undercut there, but of course we are on the soft tyres, and that's going to give us a pretty large advantage in terms of our pace in this second stint. Well, here we go then, right on the back of Sergio Perez, and we are easily through. No doubt about that.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
So back up into the top 3. And I suppose that's the other option. We absolutely go flat out now. Try and build a gap to these guys behind that they can't catch, even when we run out of fuel. But that would be a very, very risky way of doing it. And here comes fastest lap of the race, 1:11.7.
Pace is strong, but be aware these tyres need to go the distance.
Well, is that us out of this race? It is! Oh my goodness me. Well, we had no warning of that whatsoever, but our ICE is blown in the first race of the season. And we are out of the Spanish Grand Prix. Wow. Nothing we can do about that, but that is really frustrating. We're out of the Grand Prix. And that is a whole load of lost points for us there.
For another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, they are very much at one with the car, which is a cliche, but it's true. It's not an easy process, and that work is very much paying off.
While Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend, it's great to see them up on that podium once again.
And there's Hamilton winning the Grand Prix. And Russell finishes second. Sainz in third. Obviously, should have been us, really, in third position today. I think that would have been a very fair result. But as it is, we are out of the first Grand Prix of the season. No points for us. Hopefully Nico broke some home for Aston Martin.
Let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the obvious choice at this point, but he's certainly a driver deserving of his great reputation.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes move to the top of the table. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, you've got to say, very unlucky. Not good for Nico Hülkenberg, down in 14th position. Finished where he started. I mean, I expected him to move forward, I'm not going to lie. But he finished outside of the points. We had a DNF after an ICE failure. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell 1 and 2 in this first race. Bottas finishes 5th for Alfa Romeo. Brilliant performance by them. Albon up there for Haas, Magnussen up there. It's a bit of a changing of the guard, really. You've got McLaren and an Alpine in there, and well, Ferrari, one Ferrari out the points. That's not good for them, and Charles Leclerc particularly. But well, particularly after that very, very healthy start to the race, of course, where we got off the grid very well. You can see there how well we'd managed to get up towards the lead. We went round turn 1 and looked good for a lot of that Grand Prix there. We were leading the way. Hamilton eventually got us. And then, when was it? Lap 16 or so. There you go. Then that's when the problems happened, and there it was. You could see that the smoke coming out the back of the car. That was us out of the first Grand Prix of the season. Absolute disaster, and no points for Aston Martin in the first race. Well, what a shame. Right, let's continue on then. And yeah, Perez, of course, winning the rivalry there as well. 4-3 to him at the moment. And we lose a load of acclaim, which I always think is unfair, because that wasn't our fault at all. And, well, that's a 10th of the season gone. And, well, more stuff happening now. They are sorry about it. The 400 more resource points, hopefully we'll get that invested into the car as soon as possible, because we absolutely need to be on top form. Nico Hülkenberg, 91 rated, but doesn't seem to be helping him. That was a very, very poor race from all sides. But can we bring it back in Canada next time out? So that's where we're going to leave it for today. If you have enjoyed this return to F1 23, then make sure you give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.